1968 was a very tumultuous time in American history. There was the escalating war in Vietnam, the intensifying political protests, and the assassination of Martin Luther King.
People wanted change. Senator Robert F. Kennedy stepped forward and declared that he was ready to move the nation through chaos.
RFK was a controversial candidate because not only did he oppose the Vietnam War, but he openly criticized the incumbent president, Lyndon Johnson.
In a whirlwind few months on the campaign trail, Kennedy won every presidential primary he participated in. Then, on June 5th, he claimed victory in the California primary and became the man to beat. At approximately 12:15 a.m., he addressed his supporters in the ballroom of Los Angeles' Ambassador Hotel.
My thanks to all of you, and now it's on to Chicago, and let's win there.
The original plan was for Kennedy, after his speech, to go into the audience to shake the hands of his supporters. But at the last minute, there was a change in plan. They decided to turn around and go through the kitchen on the way to a press conference. Well, that decision turned out to be fateful, because as Kennedy walked through the kitchen, shaking hands with various kitchen workers, a man named Sirhan pulled out a gun and shot Kennedy 3 times. Kennedy fell to the floor. People rushed over to him. He looked up and asked, "Is everybody okay?"
Robert Kennedy was rushed to Good Samaritan Hospital, where he died a few hours later.
Sirhan was convicted in 1969 of murder and is presently serving a life sentence in a California state prison.
Kennedy's funeral was held in New York City's St. Patrick's Cathedral. Afterwards, a 21-car funeral train carried his body to Washington, D.C.
Crowds were expected, but nobody anticipated the millions who turned out to watch the funeral train as it went from New York City down to Washington, D.C. By the thousands, people stood on rooftops and by the train tracks to bid farewell to the slain hero. It was a long ride of grief and despair.
Kennedy was buried at Arlington Cemetery near his slain brother, John.